The valley was silent, but not peaceful. It was a kind of silence that comes after everything has already died. God showed the prophet Ezekiel a place no one wanted to see. A wide valley littered with bones, not buried, not honored, just scattered, bleached by the sun, cracked by time, stripped of all memory of life. These were not fresh remains. These bones had been dead for a long, long time. Hope did not live here. Fear did. As Ezekiel stood among the remains, the weight of the vision pressed down on him. Every step crunched underfoot. Skulls stared upward as if waiting for an answer no one had ever given them. Then God asked a question that echoed through the valley and into Ezekiel's soul. Can these bones live? Ezekiel did not rush to answer. He knew what he was saying. He knew how final death looked. He knew Israel's story, how a once living nation had been crushed by exile, shame, and a loss. A people torn apart just like these bones. So Ezekiel responded with trembling faith, placing the answer back into God's hands. And God commanded him to speak, to prophesy, not to the living, but to the dead. As Ezekiel obeyed, the valley changed. At first, there was a sound, a low, unnatural rattling that crept across the ground like distant thunder. Bones began to move. Females reeled towards hips. Ribs changed, pulled themselves together. Spines locked into place. Skeletons stood where death once reeled. The graveyard was waking up. Then flesh appeared, muscles stretching over bone, skin sealing what was once exposed. Forms that had been forgotten were now standing tall. But something was still missing. They had bodies, but no life. Once more, Ezekiel prophesied as God commanded, and breath entered them. In a single moment, the lifeless became alive. The valley filled with movement, strength, and sound. What was once a field of despair became a vast army, restored, renewed, and standing. This was not just resurrection. This was redemption. The vision was more than a miracle. It was a message. Israel had believed they were finished, cut off, abandoned, beyond saving. But God showed them that no devastation is too deep, no exile too far, and no brokenness too final for His power. Dry bones still hear His voice. Dead dreams can still rise. What looks hopeless to us is only a starting point to God. And so the lesson remains. When lives feel scattered, when faith feels dry, when hope feels buried, remember the valley. Because the same God who breathed life into bones can breathe life into you again.